Okay, so Nelson had found these three kids, and they needed a ride from the border of Utah and Nevada all the way to Pennsylvania. And we discussed it, and apparently, since we were going to Colorado, they'd hitch a ride with us and pay for gas. So that worked out. All right, sweet, right? So there's three kids, two dudes, one girl. One kid said his name was Hobbs. The girl said her name was Sky Diamond, and the third kid said his name was Shaggy. Now, Hobbs and Sky Diamond definitely look like rainbow hippies, kind of dirty patchwork, hemp necklaces, and jewelry, and just, hippie shit. And then this other kid, Shaggy, looked like, I don't know, he was definitely younger, and he had a crew cut. Like, his hair was cut close to his scalp, and it was just a white t-shirt and jeans, and he had a kind of a weird vibe, but nothing like too red flagish or anything like that. So they get into the car and we're off. It's like, sweet, we're gonna make it home, awesome. And like right off the bat, this kid Hobbs starts trying to give me like a rainbow sermon about, oh, the rainbow gathering, it's the greatest place ever, and oh, everyone loves each other and they share food and you share hearth and home and it's so brotherly. And it's like, yeah, whatever, kid. We're going to fucking Colorado. We're not going any further. I'm not going to the rainbow gathering. I've had my little fun. I need to go home. I'll get you there. That's about it. There's a place you can camp out there that we've been living called Allison Hill. You can live there for free while you're figuring out how you're going to get out of town and get to the Nationals, the Rainbow Gathering Nationals in Pennsylvania. Thanks, but no thanks. We're not going all the way out there. So, the ride home was fairly uneventful. We stopped in one podunk town in Utah, and there's a bunch of kids kind of saw us at the gas station and thought we looked interesting. So like they invited us into their they had like a hangout in this warehouse. It was just like all the high school kids in town, and some of the college kids too, at this big warehouse with all these instruments and lighting. And they basically partied there. We're drinking and smoking weed. And they wanted us to come. We told them some stories. That kid Hobbs tried to turn them all into rainbow children, and it just didn't happen. But it was funny because one of the kid who owned the warehouse, or whose dad owned the warehouse more rather, the dad showed up at some point unexpectedly, and everyone kind of ran out of the warehouse and hid in the back, while the kid covered the tracks and everything. And it's funny because that kid Shaggy, with the short hair, took off. He fucking took off. It was like, oh no, Dad's here. Everyone get outside, go, go, go. It was kind of a, no shit moment. So, we all kind of filed outside, what the heck? And, but that one kid just ran, oh no, he ran way long off. It took him a while to get back. It's like, where'd Shaggy go? So we get in the car, we leave them, keep on going to Colorado. We get there, it was fine. We basically parted ways with the hippies and Shaggy, because it was, we had things to do, places to be. We didn't really want to hang out with them anymore. They were cool enough, but really weren't our sort of people. Nothing bad, but wasn't oh yeah, come stay with us wherever we're at, because we slept on Allison Hill a lot, but we also had friends' houses to sleep at and shower at and cook at if we didn't want to do campfire cooking. And we weren't stuck in the woods, but these kids were going to be stuck because I didn't want to bring them into the fold. I don't know. Anyway, the two hippies, Sky Diamond and Hobbs, they managed to get out of town in 2 or 3 weeks. They bought a van and fixed it up, and they left town, but they left that kid Shaggy. And towards the end, I saw them before they left. They're like, yeah, we don't hang out with Shaggy anymore. I don't know, that kid's weird. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I didn't really care. I didn't hang out with any of them, so it was just kind of small talk, passing by. Said goodbye to them, whatever, no big deal. So a little bit more time passes, and at this point, I was working at this bar called the Cellar Lounge. And I was working the door, and checking IDs and stuff for people coming in. And for some reason, that kid Shaggy came down with some kids even younger than him. He looked young, 17 or 16. He came with some kids younger than him. Came down. So it was a downstairs bar. I see him coming downstairs with these two younger kids, and he's like, "We come in." I'm like, "No, dude." He's like, "Well, I just wanted to show these youngsters some real music." I'm like, "No, dude, you want to get the fuck out of here. You're underage. Go. get out of here. I didn't didn't really register. As they turned around to go up the stairs, this kid Shaggy put his hand on the small of both of these boys' backs as he walked up. I mean, those kids were like maybe 12, 13, 14, and it didn't even it didn't click. It really didn't. I didn't think anything of it, and that was the last I'd seen or heard of him, other than one of our friends had given him a ride out of town. He hitchhiked out of town shortly thereafter, and that was that. Well, here's where it gets hairy, and I figure out, the whole point of this story and the title and everything. Me and my buddy Ryan, the other kid who I met that first day when I moved on to Howelson Hill, we'd been up late that night playing music and getting drunk, and we had a thing down at a couple clubs there, that we could play, and it was fun. We were the only two who made it back to the hill that night, so we got in our tents, went to sleep, no big deal. Well, gets to be morning time, and I hear my dog. I got this dog, a 60-pound Korean Chow. They're called Jindos. His name was Oscar. Well, Oscar's running around the camp in a circle, just barking and raising a fuss. And my dog didn't bark at nothing. He wasn't a barker. It was only when something's going on. He certainly didn't run around the campsite, raising hell. And it was it was a very alarm bark. He was very worried, and and I'm hearing noises in the brush, in the forest around us, kind of crackling. And someone's around our campsite. It's what's going on? So I pop my head out. And I see. Our whole campsite's being surrounded by about 5 or 6 guys, all decked out in camo gear and hunting gear. They all have a couple of them have automatic assault rifles. One's got a shotgun with the shells on top for quick loading, and one's got a handgun. And I mean, they are just locked and stocked and loaded, ready to hands up. And I'm in my boxer shorts with a rotten, stinking hangover in the summer heat. I'm just I didn't know what they were there for. I'm we'll move. I was thinking maybe, for trespassing and camping on Howelson Hill when we weren't supposed to. Maybe they're finally kicking us off or something. I don't know. Why are these people here with guns? And then Ryan, he's in the tent. He doesn't know what's going on. I just hear him start grumbling, what the fuck? Shut up. What are you doing out there? Go away. Just being a dick. I'm Ryan, man, you need to pop your head out. This is important. You need to take a look, man. Knock it off. And he kind of pokes his head out. He's in his boxer shorts too. And he's just kind of oh shit. He gets his hands up in the air. They're these guys are hey, are you such and such? I'm what? No, I'm not. Do you know such and such? They gave some name. I'm no, what are you talking about? They're well, there's this kid, and he's a pedophile. He's escaped from a mental institution in Utah. And he's been in town, and he was here, and he tried to molest some kid on the train tracks, and we're looking for him, and we heard he was camping out up here. And I was oh, you mean Shaggy? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's what? We brought him from Utah. Actually, he was hitchhiking with a couple of Rainbow kids, and one of our friends gave him a ride out of town a couple of days ago. From what I heard, he's a pedophile? What? Yes, he is a violent offender. He's been institutionalized since he was very young. This is bad. Where, it was just some concerned citizens, honestly. It wasn't even the cops. It was just concerned citizens that were ready to, round this kid up and ship him back to wherever the hell he came from. So it's we're at gunpoint, being held up in the mountains, hungover, in the sun, not understanding what is going on. And, sure enough, next day there's a big, article in the paper. There's a pedophile in Steamboat. Reports say he was living on Howelson Hill. And it was yeah, and me and my idiot friends freaking picked him up, hitchhiking, and brought him to town. And then some of our other idiot friends gave him a ride back out of town. So that's my story of how I accidentally brought a pedophile to Howelson Hill. And it was actually one of the most incredible moments that I've ever been through, and I felt like it was worth sharing with everybody. Thanks for listening. Hope it was worth it. Take care.